Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the April 12th Smackdown review. I feel that I've been trying to figure out how the hell I'm going to describe this Smackdown. Honestly, this Smackdown sucked. That's the easiest way to say it, and I can end the review right there within 30 seconds. There were some things that were okay, but they just pissed me off. Honestly, almost everything that was shown nearly pissed me off or just didn't make no damn sense. Now, let's go to the primetime players. We've seen them a whole bunch of times before. Titus O'Neil is the best worker on that team. He's just funny, he has the look, he has the ability, and he's not being presented. Primetime players is just nowhere, and I feel sorry for them both. Darren Young, he has some potential, but it's Titus O'Neil who has the best potential. And they just went up against Hell No as total jobbers, as usual. I can say that at least taking away from seeing the same boring ass match, and that's what's getting me. We've seen this match so many times before. The tag team division is totally underutilized again. If it wasn't with Air Boom, it was with R-Truth and Kofi Kingston. Same thing. Nothing's being done. And seeing this just pissed me off. I can say it was interesting to see the Shield on the Titantron saying that we're not afraid of you, the brothers of destruction, and little teeny little Daniel Bryan, who's a little bitty. He didn't say it like that, but I'm saying it like that because Daniel Bryan, like in my Raw review, he looked like a little kid compared to these two monsters. They're saying they're not scared. Okay, no problem. Seeing the next segment with Triple H, I'm not going in order. Seeing Triple H on SmackDown was actually quite surprising. He rarely goes to SmackDown anymore. It's very rare unless there's something about to happen. And then I thought the Shield may come out. I thought that Brock Lesnar would come out. I thought maybe hell, the Rock can't appear, but you don't know if John Cena would appear, even though he won't. Who do we get? 3MB. What the fuck? I'm going like the 3MB is not going to job big time for a Triple H, are they? Are you honestly telling me that Triple H is going to beat the shit out of all three of them with a bad arm? You're kidding me. But then after he talks and they talk, and he basically said, as he said on Raw, he didn't say anything on Raw, did he? Yeah, he did say, basically he went to war. He went to war with Brock. It was alright. But you know what? Seeing that the Shield came down after he spoke with 3MB, 3MB said what they wanted, 3MB gets their asses kicked by the Shield. I was actually surprised about that. And I believe it was Josh Matthews or Michael Cole that said it best. They didn't like them stealing their stick. Because they said if you want to get anywhere, you got to go after the boss, which they're right. So when it looks like that the Shield is about to kick a Triple H's butt, Hell No comes out. Now this is where I get confused. If Hell No is supposed to be doing something with the Dead Man, the Dead Man, why the hell is the Shield messing with a Triple H? And then Hell No appears in the ring. What is the point? If the Dead Man, the great Undertaker, is the one that's going to be doing a program with the Shield, with Hell No, at Extreme Rules, why are you showing a Triple H there? And if Triple H is not going to be the one, then who the hell is going to be working with Hell No? Because it's obvious Hell No is going to do a program with the Shield. But who is it going to be? Is it going to be Triple H? Is it going to be the Dead Man himself? The great Undertaker? Is it going to be a jobber like a Zack Ryder? Is it going to be a Kofi Kingston? Who? This makes no sense. There is no structure in this show. And it gets worse. If you look at the segment with the twins of goodness. I'll just call them that. I can't think of what I'm going to call Sheamus and Randy Orton, because I called, as you know, for my Impact review, I called Bischoff and I called Briscoe the heel twins. In this case, could I call them the face twins? This looks like they're basically the tag team good guys. It's obvious. I just haven't figured out a good name for them. But they were arguing at Booker T, why did you stick us both in the same match together to go after a big show? And I'll get to what happened with Teddy in a minute. But seeing that just doesn't make sense. I know having the handicap match, it makes sense, but why now? Why? You couldn't have a kind of a thing where the Big Show keeps leaving both matches between a Sheamus and a Randy Orton. I know many people don't want to see a Sheamus and Big Show match again, and they're not too unreasonably interested in looking at a Big Show and Orton match. We haven't seen that either ever or for quite a while. But seeing them have Big Show lead the match and do a counter like he did there wouldn't be a bad thing. Why in the hell you do this now? You could have done this at Extreme Rules, WWE. You could have built up to this. This could have been a handicap match at Extreme Rules. Then it would make more sense. But doing it like this, what do we get? I don't even know what they get. And then what happened in the interview in the back even makes it worse. And I don't know who that woman is. Someone tell me below who's that person who did the interview on Sheamus, because I've never seen it before. But I'm confused about why. I can understand that, like with Smokey, he wanted to see a Sheamus and a Mark Henry match. But what was the point of structuring it like that? Wasn't Mark Henry supposed to be fighting a Cena? And then when they switched over to Cena and it didn't work, isn't he supposed to be going after a Ryback? They didn't even show a structure of how he's supposed to just switch over. They just switched it over with nothing. Just saying, oh, it takes heart. There was no conflict between these two. They haven't seen each other since Mark Henry came back. I don't get it. They just threw these people together for absolutely nothing. You're supposed to structure it to make it interesting. Yeah, people have been wanting to see a Sheamus and Mark Henry match, and now it looks like we're going to have a Sheamus and Mark Henry feud. But come on, ladies and gentlemen. You actually want something to make some sense. Just because he says, oh, you need heart to be able to do something that you did in the ring with a Big Show. That's nothing. Nothing. It's not enough. And I'm just going to move on from there because the show just gets even worse. A vault segment. I don't understand why they keep putting the vault on TV. And even though I like the honky tonk man, I move and groove, ladies and gentlemen. I am the honky tonk man. And then Randy Savage, ooh yeah. I am the madness. I am the one who will always be the greatest intercontinental champion in history. Who gives a damn you lasted 2 years, honky tonk man? I am the greatest honky tonk man. I'm just saying it even though I never heard that actually being said. But I don't get why they keep doing this. It makes me itch. Why show a vault segment when you have WWE Network? When you can show every show you want, WWE. Why do you continue to do this on the B show that you need to bring up stars? Why are you stupid enough to take 5 to 8 minutes of time for this? And the hits just keep on coming. You know what really gets me pissed? When you're supposed to present something and you don't. And you're supposed to be building into something. And it's obvious, it looks like they're going to do it. And they don't. It just is stupid. And I'm talking about the Bellas and Tamina versus the Funkadactyls and Caitlyn. Look, before WrestleMania 29, we had a tease of a Caitlyn going up against either an AJ or, for goodness gracious, a Layla who could have turned heel. What did we get? Nothing. There was nothing that happened after. Right before WrestleMania, it was never presented. It was never stated. We didn't know if it was AJ who was going after the belt. We didn't know if it was Layla. It was just dropped. And then that following Raw, where it would be wise to do something with the Divas. Where it would be wise to do the Divas Championship. They give us the mixed tag, which I had my thoughts on, which is understandable. They need to do the mixed tag, but who said they couldn't actually put the Divas Championship in? And now, what do we get? Another six-person tag, but this time it's a Divas tag. 6 women with the Divas Championship, and now a contender and a Tamina. Why not an AJ? Why not a Layla? Why is it a Tamina? It makes no sense. And then the match itself, which, it wasn't too bad, particularly once a Naomi came out. And I keep saying people like Naomi, particularly when she did her ass smash to either a Nikki or Brie Bella to her face. I wish at that moment, even if it would hurt my nose and make it bleed, to actually have my face in her ass. I know that sounds totally nasty, ladies and gentlemen, but a beautiful woman that you just want to hold with every part of your heart and soul, if the most you can get is getting her smash her butt into your face, you'll take it. I'm sorry, but you can see what I mean. And then a Naomi jobs to either a Nikki or Brie Bella. Where does this lead now? Do we have anything going for the Divas Championship? No. Do we have still a feud that was supposed to be between the Funkadactyls and Brie Bella? I guess this is part of the feud. I guess they don't believe that Bella Twins and the Funkadactyls could actually have a tag team feud by themselves, so they keep throwing in other people to try and make it interesting. Because I guess they don't think that the Bella Twins, Brie and Nikki Bella, who actually are not bad talents, can't get over from a Funkadactyl and a Naomi and a Cameron. They can't actually have a program by themselves. So they keep sticking supposedly one experienced diva and one diva who's a champion. This is stupid. I don't see this making any sense. And it just gets more bizarre. I think the WWE got confused with what happened with the crowd in New Jersey, because in Boston, they didn't know how to act. Because there's certain things that were done that just, I don't get it. What happened to The Miz? Where's The Miz? We get a Santino match with a Wade Barrett. And the kip-ups from the Santino were kind of amusing. But the bull hammer to him? What do we get for a Wade? Nothing. He's exactly where he was 6 months ago. Nowhere. 4 months ago. Nowhere. He's stuck with the same championship with nothing to do. And here comes something even worse that really is upsetting. We finally see Antonio Vazado, our U.S. Championship, Antonio Vazado, against Kofi Kingston. And he loses. So that means Kofi's getting a shot at the U.S. Championship. I don't know what to make of this. A man that deserved to be on the pre-show. He deserved to be there. The IC Championship deserved to be on the main show. But they couldn't do it. So now a person of Antonio Vazado, who's been holding the title for more than 6 months, well more than 6 months, who deserves something better than this, to have a good program, to have someone good to work with. He worked with Kofi Kingston, and he jobs with Kofi Kingston, and now probably Kofi's going for the title. I feel sorry for him. I do. I really feel sorry for Antonio. Now, before I say the final match between Dolph and Chris Jericho, I do want to say something about Booker T and I didn't say this before, so I was going to say it later. Booker T and Teddy Long. I said this for many months before. What was going on, I mean almost a year, nearly. What was going on between a Booker T and a Eve Torres, including a Teddy Long. Eventually there was going to be some type of conflict between two out of those three. And now the conflict is now being brought out between a Teddy Long and a Booker T, particularly what he started talking about in front of Sheamus and Orton. How do I feel this show is going to change with a odds between the general manager and his advisor in a Teddy Long? I'm not sure they even go all the way through with this. They could have a monster on their hands with a Teddy Long going against a Booker T, and a Teddy Long getting like a Mark Henry on his side. Getting Mark Henry back with a Teddy Long would actually be a wise thing. Let Teddy Long be Mark Henry's manager again. They could get over. But do I believe they're going to do this? No. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with a Booker T and a Teddy Long. I have no idea how this is going to be structured. Seeing a Teddy turn heel will be something interesting. We haven't seen it in a while. But do I believe it's going to be good? No. Because I don't think they know how to structure a story anymore. And now finally, the final match of the night. And what I'll say in my description, I'm not going to say it now, but I'm going to say this. This match between Dolph and between Chris Jericho was nothing. Yeah, it was an okay match. But this was nothing about... You guys could be happy that Dolph has a title, but Dolph is nothing but a prop. That's all he is. Particularly what happened in the beginning of the show. When a Chris Jericho is all that was required. Because he has history with Dolph. Because he got himself kicked out because of Dolph. That would have been enough. But they put Jack Swagger out there. The trucker with Zed Culture. Which was not a bad segment. Then they put out an ADR. Which was overkill. They didn't need him. But I understand why you could say it was necessary to have him there. Because he wants to get his title back. But if this was all about, and I'm not talking about Chris going for the title. He wasn't. And it's not going to even be talked about. This is not about the title going around Chris Jericho's waist. This is about trying to get Fandango and Chris Jericho feud really up and running for an Extreme Rules. So a Dolph Ziggler was used as a catalyst for that. To give more interest, because at the end of the night, when Dolph won against Chris, and Chris got laid out by Biggie Langston, and also wish to say Biggie sounded pretty good acting like a Ricardo Rodriguez. Here is Dolph Ziggler. I did enjoy it. That he did good. He has good character. After he knocked him out, what did we get? We got a Fandango. And the Boston crowd was doing the same thing as the New Jersey crowd. Doing the hum of the Fandango song, which is good. He's getting over. And that is the reason why, because of Monday, he was the one who closed the show. Acting like I said before, and I'll say it again. He gives off an attitude of a Nature Boy Ric Flair in his early stages, very early. And a Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, and prancing and dancing around the ring. If no one's ever seen either one of them when they first started out, look on YouTube. You should see something from a Buddy Rogers when he prances and dances around the ring, acting almost fruity, but he's not acting fruity. He's basically showing charisma, as a Ric Flair took from a Buddy Rogers, and now a Fandango is taking from a Ric Flair. Yes, it's a bite-off, and it's a watered-down version. Yes, it is, but it's still being done. And that's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. But a Fandango having to need the world champion and a Dolph Ziggler as a catalyst to continue the feud between him and a person that's not even going after the title. What does that tell you? that tells you they have no investment in a Dolph Ziggler. They weren't willing to give him the time to talk, and he did sound hoarse, but that's not the point. The point is they're not willing to give him time to talk, and they're not willing to highlight him. Even though he won the match, he had to win dirty, can't win clean, and then he's not the one that's spotlighted at the end of the show. So how do I rate this show? C+. Yes, Fandango was a good touch. Don't know what's going to happen with Hell No going against the Shield. Will they have a Brock? Well, I don't even know if they may have a Brock Lesnar. Hell, they may have a Triple H. Hell, they may have the great, the wonderful, the powerful Undertaker. Rest in peace. I have no idea. Most of this show was convoluted, was confusing, and then throwing the Vault on there made it even worse. So I give this a C+ rating. This was a terrible show. It wasn't that better. I don't even know how to say it. Raw was not great, but it had some good moments. I don't even see good moments here. Even when 3MB got destroyed by the Shield, which was a surprise. It didn't bring up the show. Y2J talking in the beginning of the show was the more interesting thing out of all three of those guys who spoke earlier, in Alberto Del Rio and Zed Coulter, but that didn't save the show. This is a C+ show, and that's how I feel about it. And I hope you enjoyed the Zane View. Subscribe and comment to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. Got that out, thank goodness. I wish to say thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this review. Give me your comments below, and tell me what you think, if you think this was a better show than what I'm rating. Have a good night.